Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Man, We're Too Old for This, here on the Nerd Turtle Network. I'm your host, the experience that some call Jason, and with me today is...
The Todd Father.
CDL 113.
And the token first recorded loss, Tarky.
Today we're going to be talking about how these companies, some of these media companies, know that a property makes money, but don't seem to understand why the property makes money. And it shows in how they interact with their customer.
And how they go about making their product.
Yes. And I guess I would have to say most of the time, that's when they're taking kind of taking somebody else's property or an established property and running with it. They become interested in the property because it's got a fan base, because it's making money. But then when they get it, it's like they don't know how to... It's like they get a pet they don't know how to take care of. They get this fan base, but they don't know how to take care of it. And then they can't figure out why their version isn't making money.
They go into it and basically go, I got this pet, and then once they get the pet, they realize it stinks. I really don't want it. I've got it because I paid for it, but I don't really want it. I wish this dog was really a parakeet. But this parakeet ain't the puppy I wanted.
Yeah.
So in my mind, the two examples you just gave are the two statements. The examples for me are Disney with Star Wars and whoever owns Ghostbusters with Ghostbusters.
Yeah, when it comes to Disney, you could apply that to Star Wars. You could apply that to Marvel.
Yeah,
they've got it, but they don't like the people that came with it.
Mm-hmm.
We like that it makes money. We just don't like the people that give us money. We want to replace them with new people who apparently don't want to give them money because they went into it in the first place.
It's not as bad, to use the Disney example, it's not as bad with Marvel. They've pretty well left Marvel Studios alone. Now, going into the next phase, we'll have to see how it goes.
Well, here's where I beg to disagree. Because we got into this because I was following the thing with Star Wars, YouTuber Star Wars Theory, who did a reaction video to the season finale of Mandalorian, the season 2 finale. And at the end of that, if you don't know by now, you ain't been online. Luke Skywalker shows up, and in his reaction video, when he saw Luke Skywalker show up, kicking ass, he cried. And you had Pablo Hidalgo, who is a higher up in Lucasfilm, get on Twitter and mock him for doing it. And you ended up finding out that the reason why he cried at that scene was because he's a cancer survivor. And when he was going through chemo and stuff like that, Luke Skywalker was the character that he hung on to.
Yeah, he went through it as a kid.
Yeah, but that was who he hung on to. So there was an emotional reaction there. Well, just like Hidalgo will dog you out on Twitter, Marvel creators, not so much the movie, but the comic book half, they will talk about your ass like a dog. Them attacking fans ain't new. Pablo Hidalgo attacking fans from Lucasfilm ain't new.
Nope.
This is just the one that finally bit him in the ass.
Probably because of the cancer survivor aspect.
Well, yeah, that didn't help. That and the fact that, thanks to the beer virus, Disney ain't clocking the dollars that it normally clocks. So money's a little more important to them than it was. And when Luke Skywalker showed up at the end of The Mandalorian, subscriptions to Disney Plus went up. And so many people watched that damn thing that it crashed the site.
Yeah.
This Christmas, fucking Baby Yoda was everywhere because that's all they got.
Mm-hmm. They
got Baby Yoda. The sequel trilogy shit don't sell. So to have a higher up of Lucasfilm come on and basically mock a cancer survivor, yeah, it just ain't a good look.
No.
But that again is the trick, and the reason why I make that statement that I made. They know things make money, they don't know why. Star Wars is a community. Comic books are a community. Just like in the case of Star Wars theory, he loves Luke Skywalker because, that's who he hung on to when he was going through cancer. I love the Incredible Hulk because my late mother used to read me Hulk comic books as bedtime stories. So there is an emotional connection to the Incredible Hulk that I have that really ain't got shit to do with the book itself. It's what that character was at a time in my life.
Yeah.
And that's what they don't get. They figure, well, I stick Star Wars on it, you coming. To hell with the rules to it, to hell with the community to it. And if you don't like the shit that I give you, then there's something wrong with you, not it.
Yeah. That's like Marvel has already talked and said, oh, this is what we're doing. Chadwick Boseman, Black Panther, knocked the role out of the park. The movie, made gangbuster money. He passed. I hate that he passed. But how many actors have filled the role of Batman?
Yeah.
So instead of throwing out the baby with the bathwater, why don't you recast a new actor to take over the role of Black Panther? Honor Chadwick Boseman's
That's kind of
work.
a whole other subject, though, because
Yeah.
to get into that, you have to get into the fact that they were already talking about replacing him before anybody knew Chadwick was sick. So this is really just an opportunity to cover what they already wanted to do. But that's not the subject we're talking about particularly.
Same kind of money, it is.
But what he's saying is this. They don't care if it makes money or not. It's not about the money. They've shown you that over and over again with different, because much as I like to talk about Black Panther, no, Jason's right. This is different because you see it in Star Wars, you see it in comics, you see it in Star Trek,
That's true.
you see it in Doctor Who, and you can't, people cannot ignore the stuff enough because they've shown you that for a certain segment of these companies, it's not about the money, it's about sending the message. It's the quote from The Dark Knight. It's not about money, it's about sending the message.
Yeah, that's true. I see.
Because hell, the character Ms. Marvel has 75 issues over 5 or 6 different runs because the shit don't sell.
Yeah.
They just reboot it.
Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel?
No, Ms. Marvel.
Okay.
Ms. Marvel has a total of 75 issues, but it's over like 3 or 4 different volumes. Yet she can't keep a book.
Yeah, Captain Marvel's the same way, truthfully.
Captain Marvel is the exact same way, just she's got more volume. That's the only difference in them. Neither one of the characters sell. And at least with Captain Marvel in her current incarnation, she don't sell. She'll go, 5, 10, 18, maybe, like I said, you may get 12 to 18 issues, and then they have to reboot the damn thing because the sales are so low.
Yeah.
But they won't go, oh, this character isn't working. Let's revamp something. Let's do something different. Let's see if we can. No, they give you the same shit they gave you that wasn't popular. They just stick a new number one.
They'll revamp Spider-Man for no reason.
Right.
But not the stuff that's actually failing.
Yeah.
Well, I think it goes into what you made a comment when we were off mic that let's say we have 100 steady fan groups and fans that we will follow us from hell to high water. We don't want those 100. We want 100 different ones. So let's change this character or do something different and get rid of the existing fans to get new fans for no reason.
And when it should be a either or, it can be a both and.
Yeah, we've got 100 fans that love this. Well, let's keep those 100 and get 100 more. Let's make this product even more successful. And it's like they don't get how to do that.
Well, it's like the old saying, a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. But what these companies seem to be doing is looking at the one in their hand and going, bah, and throwing it over their shoulder. And then trying and failing to catch the birds that were in the bush. Because they keep doing this, and they're not finding these new fans, not in the kind of volume they need.
It's to the point that they don't. you can look at the sequel trilogy and you can look at the Mandalorian, and the difference in them is this: you can tell that Favreau and Filoni love Star Wars. So when you watch it, it feels like Star Wars. That's one thing that since the damn thing started, you hear people go, "Man, that felt like Star Wars."
Mhm.
Yeah.
Something you never hear about the sequel trilogy.
Yeah. You went the whole first season of The Mandalorian without Jedi.
Well, also, a big thing about that too was, in Filoni's own words, was he was scared to do anything that hurt Star Wars as a franchise.
Right.
That's why they didn't do a bunch of cameos in the first season, is they were afraid to hurt product. And the thing is, with a lot of this other stuff, they're going in with no fear of failure.
Well, if the rumors are true, Kennedy was literally looking for people at the movie that either didn't like Star Wars or didn't know shit about it.
Yeah.
Because The Last Jedi, the whole thing was we were subverting fans' expectations. No, you made some shit that nobody liked.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the rub that the virus kind of sped things up. Is that you went and chased people that ain't the ones that was buying the $150 lightsabers.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't. You know, that fandom that Pablo Hidalgo says is shitty and has always been shitty are the ones that when there was no movie out was still buying Star Wars books and Star Wars toys and Star Wars video games and kept the franchise alive.
When there hadn't been a movie in a decade, they were still buying.
There hadn't been a movie in a decade, but there was more toys on the damn shelf then than there is now.
Yeah. Well, it's like you had this guy on Facebook was talking. First season of Mandalorian come out, and it made him rekindle his love for Star Wars. He would take his son to go see the newer ones because Daddy loves Star Wars, so I'm going to love Star Wars. He said when second season of Mandalorian came out, you know, his son had wanted one of those $150 lightsabers, and he's like, "No, I'm not paying that for you, son." He said when second season Mandalorian comes out and he sees an actual on-screen Jedi done right, Luke shows up. He said, "I carried my son out that day, and we, custom ordered, the ones we wanted." He said, "It made me want, $150 lightsaber." And I'd been telling my son, no, he can't have one. All of a sudden, I'm buying him one and one for me too.
I was about sick of Star Wars. Like I said, hell, after I walked out of The Force Awakens, I was like, fuck all this shit. When I saw Luke Skywalker at the end of that damn thing, I was like I was 6 years old again.
Yeah.
I was bouncing around that damn house. Hell, I went and spoiled the shit and all kinds of stuff. Because it was literally like I was 6 and was like, oh shit. Now this is what the hell, this is what I remember. And apparently, hell, there's hatred behind that shit.
Yeah.
How dare you like this?
Well, Jennifer and I were sitting there in the living room watching it. And when, I saw an X one, ooh, I bet it's a Jedi. I didn't know who, but I thought, well, it's a Jedi. Well, when it turned, as soon as you see that lightsaber, a lot of, ooh, it's Luke. And I'm sitting there on this thing, I didn't realize.
I was still jaded. Because when I saw the green lightsaber, I was like, them motherfuckers trying to make me think it's Luke Skywalker. I ain't going to get hyped.
I'm sitting there on the edge of my seat. And Jennifer said she looks over at me and she said, I look like I was 5 or 6 years old, just, like, ooh, ooh, ooh. And apparently I was, because she said, you were doing this, so-and-so. And then when he started fighting, I'm like, ooh, and I was making sound effects. And I didn't even realize I was doing that shit. And she's over there giggling at me. And I had to hit pause. What are you laughing at? She goes, I'm laughing at you. You're like a little kid in a candy store. You're doing this and this. I'm like, I am? Don't you mock me? And I hit play. It was like, I was back in, I was a kid again. It was like, it was great. And, you get people online, oh, I can't believe it. You're like, fuck you.
But and the thing that shows you that it's not about money is because that's what they want to get rid of.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
They don't like that you had that reaction at all and wish you would take your ass on somewhere. Which for business, I studied business in college. I don't get it. I will not understand this ever.
No.
If I ran a business, I would take the Grand Wizard of Clan's money. I don't have to like you. I don't have to fuck with you, but I will take your money. They seem to have a literal disdain for the people that give them a job.
Yeah.
If you listen to you read interviews with the people behind Doctor Who, they hate the fans. You read interviews of the people behind Star Trek Discovery, they hate the fandom.
Yeah.
You listen to the people behind the things of Star Wars, they hate the fandom. And that's literally who gives you a fucking job.
Well, I give you
if it were not for the neckbeards and the people that you say live in the basement and all that shit, your ass would not have a job.
Yeah.
Period.
I give you a good example of a company that pays attention and does something right. Starbucks. When we were kids, how many young people drank coffee? Out of 100, what, 2?
Hell if I know, because it tasted like cigar ashes to me.
Yeah, as a kid, no. Nowadays, you got young people ranging from little kids that, their parents keep the little cold coffee from Starbucks in a glass, bottle. Or you've got teenage kids that get up in the morning and start with their coffee, or they'll stop at Starbucks or whatever coffee thing. They were like, you know what? We've got the old people that have, drink coffee. Let's get a whole new batch to drinking coffee also. We're not getting rid of our old batch. We just want to expand our market.
Yeah,
and that's
I
what
would not
they
criticize any of these companies for doing a little experimentation to see if they could pull in some new folk. But running off people that have been giving you money for 30 years is not a way to run a business.
And that's
the point.
And that's the point. It's not that they go into hell. I want new generations to take part of my product. It's the utter disdain that they have of the people that got them there.
Yeah, and
And it's to the point, not to go on coffee, but to stay on entertainment. It's just like Warner Brothers is releasing the Snyder cut of Justice League. And you have people pissed off about it. Now, I don't like the DC. I don't particularly care for the DCU. I thought the things that Snyder had hands in, most of it sucked. But there was a group of fans that wanted the shit, and HBO Max and Warner Bros. Said, well, hell, you want it? Here it is.
Yeah.
And they caught hell for it. How dare you? Well, you giving, because there were articles that went, well, that's sending a bad message. You got these toxic fans out here that wanted the Snyder cut of this, and you giving it to them. Because they're, another word for fan is customer.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And they seem to forget that. It's literally snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. So you have all these people that want to support your product, that want to give you money, and your reaction to them is utter revulsion and disdain.
And there's not even an explanation. There's not even like a flimsy explanation as to why.
It's literally just utter disdain, and like I said, I'll never understand it in a million years. It was, well, the fans that don't like this, they're toxic because they didn't like my product. And that goes into the not understanding that it's a community and these things have rules. People watched The Last Jedi, they went, oh, you didn't like it because you don't like women. No, that's bullshit. They didn't like it because it didn't follow canon. If you established in the canon that Jedi must be trained, then train them. It's really just that damn easy.
Mm-hmm.
Train them. If she's trained, that whole argument goes out the damn window. It was just the kind of unearned, she's just the greatest. It was the Mary Sue shit. And I was thinking this morning, Jason, the thing that you get so fired up when we talk about when Kathleen Kennedy said that, well, they had to make this up whole cloth. It's not like they had anything to go off of.
Uh-huh.
And I was thinking about that. And she's actually right. Because the shit that she's doing ain't Star Wars. So
That's
she
true.
didn't have anything to go off of. Her shit ain't Star Wars. It's bad fanfic.
Yeah. It's
fanfic in where the term Mary Sue comes from. In that you got this fanfic, that you got this character that everybody loves, that's perfect in everything, that's unearned shit, And yeah, it when you look at it that way, it honestly fits. She didn't have shit to go off of because all the rest of this was canon, and the sequel trilogy is bad fanfic.
Yeah. It's like they even mock it in the show, Supernatural. You've got what they consider canon from the show.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have, and they even show you some of the characters that write supernatural fan fiction. They even, the Sam and Dean save 2 girls in one of the episodes that are write fan fiction. And it's because, in the show, you have a guy that writes a set of supernatural books.
Yeah.
And they're popular. And so when you run into them, it's like, oh, they're mocking their own thing, because you've got folks online that do supernatural fan fiction or, Twilight fan fiction. It's set in that universe. And it's kind of like a wink, wink, nod, nudge joke about it. I got no problem with that. But when you try and make fan fiction canon and it sucks, you can't do that, because some of the books that I read, you've had other authors go, hey, I want to write a story in your universe. I'll run it past you when I get it written. And the author goes, we're going to print that because that fits. It's the same zombie setting. Your story just takes place in a different city than mine.
You have a whole series of Monster Hunter International books that take place in different time periods from the main writer's thing, written by, I forget his name now. It's another...
John Ringo.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Him and the actual writer, Korea?
Yeah, Carrera.
Thank you. They hit it off. Ringo was a fan of his stuff. Like, hey, can I do some stuff? And I forget it. Maybe they collaborated on the first one. I forget. But Ringo's basically got his own series of the stuff.
Yeah.
You guys just remind me that this could all be solved with the Vice City model.
What's that?
The Vice City model is you have a guy who has watched the entirety of the main thing, and he stands there, and anytime you want to introduce something new, you put it in front of him, and he either goes, that's Vice, or he goes, that's not Vice.
Yeah,
but the
it's
trick
about like
is
having an editor-in-chief like they used to have in the old Marvel or old comics.
Yeah.
And the trick is that would be wonderful, and you have that still. It's called the fans, and the minute the fans go, that's not Star Wars, or that's not Marvel, or that's not Spider-Man, or that's not Masters of the Universe, or that's not Doctor Who, they call you a toxic bastard and throw you in a hole some damn way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But then you have, with The Mandalorian, where they had someone who goes, I don't want to put anything in here that hurts it. They had the guy that goes, that's Vice, or that's not Vice.
Who's actually in charge of it. And you have a quality product as a result.
Yeah, it's literally just, they just don't care about having a quality test.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because again, it's because they don't care if it sells. They get mad when it doesn't sell, but they give you something that everybody goes, that's not going to fly, that's not going to sell. The hell with you. You're toxic. You hate women. You hate minorities. You hate diversity. You hate all this kind of crap.
You hate chocolate chip cookies.
Because, there's, they say there's a Civil War in Lucasfilm. I tend to believe it because one of the kind of neat things, notice some of the stuff that Luke says that kind of flies directly in the face of the sequel trilogy. Power's nothing without training. When he talks about Grogu, he goes, power's great. He's powerful. Power's nothing without training. Somewhere in the distance, I heard Rey cry out.
Yeah.
And then she hits Luke with a planet because he's that powerful in the Force. But anyway, you have people going, that's not cool. But back to the rumor, one of the rumors is floating around now is that they're saying in the Kennedy half is they don't want any more basically white male heroes. Which would be interesting to me as a black male if Finn wasn't a goddamn janitor and Lando wasn't fucking droids. So apparently, let's be honest, let's take race out of it and just say, hell, you don't want anything with a penis. Because Finn, it wasn't Rey that turned me off of the sequel trilogy. It was Finn. Jason is my witness.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't come out of The Force Awakens going, Rey sucks. I came out of The Force Awakens going, That is the most racist piece of shit I've ever seen.
Yeah, because all the posters and scenes leading up to that, you got him popping the lightsaber. You're like, ooh,
Yeah,
a
and
new Jedi.
that was the whole damn reason I went to that. I was like, holy shit, they actually gonna have a Star Wars film centered around the Black Jedi? Shit, but 6-year-old me was like, hell yeah, let's go. And then I get a sweating, eternally scared, bug-eyed janitor that sweats all the fucking time.
You said sweat.
Yeager don't
You
even
sweated
like
twice.
that damn character. The minute the contract where he had to keep his mouth shut went, hell, he went in on that shit in British GQ.
Yep.
His own mouth, he was like, good God, can I do something where I ain't just eternally sweaty? Because every time you see Finn, Finn is moist.
Yep.
Finn stays moist.
He's always trying to run away.
Yeah. He's cowardly as hell. He don't get the girl. Hell, he's
Though he's
trash pandas all damn get out.
He's extremely sprung on the little white girl. But
Yep. You know, and since the Lego thing is canon, now he would run around calling her master. They wouldn't have her call Luke master because that's problematic. But having Finn referring to Rey as Master Rey, that's completely different.
Wow.
She's his master.
well, she was
Finn is
before that, whether
also-
they said it or not.
Finn is also a horrible Jedi. Unlike Rey, who just does everything because she's perfect.
Maybe Rey's a horrible teacher. Maybe that's what it is.
Nope, she can't be a horrible teacher because in that thing, she actually goes back and teaches Yoda about the Force.
Run that one by me again.
Oh, it's the whole time travel thing because that's the thing. Finn is a horrible Jedi. She's training Finn. Finn's a horrible Jedi. So she goes back in time because she kind of goes, well, maybe I'm just a shitty teacher. So let me go back in time to see if I can be a better teacher. She ended up teaching Yoda about the Force. Finn is, Rey is the be all end all.
Man, I hope the rumors are true and they're going to erase all of that.
It don't matter to me no more.
Yeah, that's the trick. That's the thing. There's a reason why the Star Wars Lego Holiday Special, which is heavily sequel trilogy, and they dropped it and The Mandalorian at the same time because it was basically Disney going, okay, whose vision is better? Nobody gives a fuck about the Lego shit, and The Mandalorian season 2 broke the fucking app. So yeah, they took a big L with that one. You know, between that and Boba Fett and Ahsoka, guys, hell, ain't like folks. You had Ahsoka, Boba Fett, Luke Skywalker in a fucking row.
Yeah. You gave the adults the Star Wars of their childhood, and you even had new people go, "Oh my God, that's so cool!"
Yeah, and the thing is, and if the actual message was we want strong women, you had the whole girls get it done part of the finale where you had Bo-Katan, whoever the hell Sasha Banks is playing, Cara Dune, and the and Ming-Na's character go along and kill motherfuckers hell like a fucking plague. So
Yeah.
but it was still done in an organic something where you can sit there and go, oh, that's believable. One of the problems with Rey is she was never believable. She was just handed shit. Oh, first time you ever set foot in a Falcon, and you fix it better than the motherfucker that owned it. That don't make sense. Flight is good as the motherfucker that owns it. That don't make sense. Where Cara Dune makes sense. She's a damn rebel jump trooper from Alderaan. Yeah, she ought to be brutal as hell.
Yeah.
Ming-Na's character's a damn ex-Imperial assassin. She ought to kill motherfuckers like it's going out of style.
Then you got
And then you got two damn Mandalorians sitting there. Yeah, they ought to go through.
Yeah.
Well,
See,
Mandalorian seems to be doing what we're saying they should do. It's attractive to the old fans. It's drawing in new fans. If you want to, if you want to expand the audience to push more towards women, the Mandalorian's doing that to some degree. So,
But as my grandma was always fond to say, you don't throw the baby out with the bath water. You keep the baby and put clean water in.
Trick is they don't. But that's what this is all about. They don't like the baby.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. They don't understand. The baby is what people come to see.
They don't like the baby. They don't like the baby.
I think more about
They look at
Todd's
the
old
baby,
analogy
baby
of the sandbox.
Yeah.
The Mandalorian is a sandbox. There's something there for everybody.
You know,
The
I can watch it.
sequels,
Oh,
there's
this
stuff.
character's
There's stuff
cool.
there for Kennedy. That's it.
Yeah, there's you can go there and go, oh, this character's cool, that character's cool, this character's cool. You kind of like who you like.
Yeah.
It's not forced. A lot of this shit that you see is like, well, you're going to like this really because I said so. And if your reaction is, I don't really like it, well, you ain't shit.
Yeah. It's kind of like the old, well, you can have a Model T in any color you want as long as it's black.
Yeah.
And whether you like it or not, that's your choice. And it's like, there's enough variety out there. We can have choice.
Well, that's kind of the thing. It's like they think, well, they're Star Wars fans. They have no choice. Well, no, because Star Wars fans, there's always something else they're a fan of, too.
Yeah.
We can't
Sure,
see
yeah,
spend our money somewhere
They
else.
cornered the market by hitting Marvel up too.
Yeah, and that's just like Tarky said. And what they're doing is saying, well, hell, we're going to make sure you ain't got shit. Because it's like I said, that's what I don't understand. It's like everybody's playing from the same playbook. Hey, you had Doctor Who, you got a lot of Doctor Who fans, Doctor Who sell a lot of merchandise, let's completely fuck that shit up. And not that I was the biggest Whovian, but I feel sorry for the people at work because I know what it's like to be a fan of something and have somebody just come in and pee on it.
Mm-hmm.
They pee on it and then complain to you when you go, it's pissy. Why don't you want to play with this no more? Well, you peed on it. Well, it's something wrong with you. No, it's something wrong with it. You ruined it.
Yeah, because that really hurt me. Because, sorry, as a Doctor Who fan, but like the moment they basically just said, "Oh yeah, none of this stuff's actually canon. It's no longer a cohesive storyline." I was like, "Why would you do that?" And then the next thing, like, "Oh, we're bringing these characters back as connections," and I'm like, "But it doesn't matter. It's not connected anymore. You stated it's not connected anymore."
It's connected and not connected. It's connected when we want it to be and not when we don't want it to be. Why you gotta bring up old crap?
It just becomes a thing of they don't want to maintain a quality to the product. They don't want to have to spend the money.
And they don't seem to realize that sort of connections and canon, if you will, is what keeps your long-term fans there.
Yeah. But they don't, again, it's because they don't want long-term fans. They don't want you there. They don't want you to, like I said, it's almost like a virus. It's literally like they come in to destroy.
It also, it's part an attention span thing. I know Todd and I have had this conversation. To enjoy certain things for a length of time, you have to have an attention span. Well, nowadays it's like they think people only have a 5-second attention span. So let's show them bright and shiny, bright and shiny. Okay, let's drop that and pick up something else. Oh, look over here, look over here. And it's like, you may make a few dollars change doing that, but you're not going to keep a steady cash cow doing that.
But it, like I said, like we started this off, it's still coming from a place of, one, the people that are creating it don't particularly like it, nor do they like the people that liked it. Again, we go back to the Mandalorian as something that was done right. When Mandalorian started up, you had this whole thing, I can't take my helmet off. And you had people going, since when? Boba Fett. Jango Fett, you've seen him without his helmet. What the hell? If you watch the Clone Wars cartoon, you've seen plenty of them without the helmet. Where the hell does this come from? Well, they answered the shit. When Mando runs into Bo-Katan and he's like, hey, you take your helmet off, and they kind of go, oh God, you're one of them. And you find out, oh, they're sick. Okay, that makes sense. Done, real easy, simple as pie. It's explained.
And it expands, because you're like, okay, this is not one homogenous group. There are factions within this, ethnicity or culture or religion, whatever you want to call it.
And then when they run into Boba Fett, then there's another something, because it's like, hey, you ain't a Mandalorian. Oh, but I'm the son of Jango Fett. Jango Fett was a foundling. I am his son. This is mine by blood and right. Oh, okay, makes sense. Ta-da! Explains a whole lot of shit, real easy. They didn't go, you know what? You hate people. You hate the disabled because you hate this. What? Where the hell that come from? I don't care. It's just whatever the hell I can throw at you to make it where you're wrong and I'm right.
Yeah.
You are something. You don't like my stuff. You are somehow defective and a terrible person.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Going back to Star Wars theory, that he caught hell from Hidalgo. Hidalgo's been doing that. Hell, Danny Cates, I love his run on Thor, but he'll cut out on Twitter if you don't like his shit. You don't have the right to go, well, as a longtime Thor-reader, this doesn't make sense to me. Well, then fuck you. That's the attitude they have. And you can't be a business with that attitude. That's the part, it does not make sense to me. Hey, I bought a hamburger from you and you left a plastic lid in it. My hamburger's messed up. Well, fuck you. Fuck you and the hamburger. Dude, you make the shit right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Give me the damn pickle. I want to give you money.
So, just to start wrapping this up, so we brought up some stuff they're doing with Marvel, at least in the books. The DC stuff has got this same kind of problem. We've talked about Star Wars. Is there any, and Doctor Who? Can you think of any other franchises, kind of established franchises, this is going with?
Trek is the one that I can think of, because you had the old school Star Trek, the William Shatner run, and then you've got the newer movies now.
Where Star Trek's catching hell is Discovery.
Yeah.
Discovery and Picard.
Yeah, they're catching it from those.
Those are being halfway successful in bringing in new fans, though.
Yeah,
I don't think they're gaining any ground, but
for me,
old
another
school
example.
fans like me.
Hold on. What'd you say, Jace?
I think Tyler was trying to say something.
Well, for me, one of them was Ghostbusters. All right, let's try this radical new direction. Oh, that didn't work. Okay, scrap that. Let's try another radical new direction. Of just desperate jumps into 4A, because they tried the all women Ghostbusters team, which was in the same vein. You just cleared house and put a whole bunch of new people in the slots to see if it would work out, and it didn't. And then they went, well, okay, let's just jump to a super serious seeming Ghostbusters film with a newer one.
It's kind of things where what's his name, Paul Feig. Paul Feig won't let his 2016 one go.
No, he still makes excuses for that thing.
He's still making excuses for that damn movie. That's why that goes again into the whole. It can't be about money because it keeps failing.
Mm-hmm.
And you keep having people go, but it'll be different with ours, and it won't be because they've done this shit so much that people just go, well, fuck it. Terminator Dark Fate lost $200 million at the box office.
Yeah.
There was no corona. There was no nothing. It was just people went, fuck it, I ain't watching this shit. Why? Because the director beforehand said, you bunch of man babies ain't shit. They'll make you lose your shit. It's going to be so finished. And motherfuckers went, okay, then keep it. Ain't like, but whether it was franchise fatigue. No, it's because you told the people that would have given you a chance to fuck off.
And
they did.
Yeah.
So how long do you think this trend can continue to go before some of these places just flat out start running out of enough cash to make the stuff?
I think that's the fate of it. I truthfully think the fate of it is it's gonna collapse. I maybe if Filoni and Favreau can manage to save Star Wars and Star Wars becomes profitable again, as long as the virus is going and some of these companies that could be kind of fuck you, could kind of have the fuck you attitude, get tight with the money, then maybe you'll see some of that change because they won't. It's not that they like you any better, it's just they want your money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is fine as long as it's a decent product. But
this also pulls to the biggest example of this is Disney. They're one of the biggest media companies now, period.
Yeah.
This year has been their first year of a reported loss. Since their existence. And they thought they had cornered the market, and they thought they had made it where no one had a place to go to that wasn't them.
Yep.
And they're still losing money.
Now, a lot of that's going to be the pandemic, because a lot of people couldn't come to them for some of their stuff. So
except everything they tried failed anyway. Mulan did not succeed
Nope.
True.
because they tried to cut corners and make it their cookie cutter way that they've been making stuff. It's just
Yeah.
like
The Mandalorian is their success story for this year.
Yep.
Period.
right, because it's not made the same way they made everything else.
Mhm.
Because this is the first. Well, they couldn't open the theme parks, and this is the first year that you had to have an MCU movie in the theater. So yeah, they were.
Yeah, it really cut into their bankroll.
Yeah.
So they literally just can't have the attitude of fuck you. DC over on in the comics thing is in the same boat. The beer bug kind of sped stuff up to where some of these companies that had this kind of fuck you attitude, they right now they just can't afford to have it. And it's got where you think some of these subsidiaries had a freer reign. Their bosses are kind of going, hey, because their bosses still want money. And as long as, some money's coming in, they'll kind of let you act a fool. But now that things have actually gotten kind of tight at Disney, tight with AT&T, they go, hey, you need to do something. Shit.
Yeah. When your stockholders and your shareholders go, hey, where's our cheddar?
Yeah.
That's when the board goes, give us just a minute. And they go down to the guy below them, hey, where's our money? And then that guy goes down, hey,
And
where's our
eventually you
money?
get to the guy that just goes in with a hatchet and starts lopping off anything that ain't making
Yeah,
money.
and that's the trick is like DC, a lot of people, they came to him and said, yes, it's fire.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Marvel is looking at motherfuckers. Disney, a shit ton of people, they went to him and said, hey, your ass is gone. So all of a sudden, that dude that lives in his basement with the neck beard and shit, that'll buy that $150 lightsaber looks a hell of a lot more fucking appealing.
Yeah.
Mhm. So while this is a nasty trend, it may be something that self-corrects at some point.
It will either self-correct or the shit'll die.
Yeah.
And that like I said, that's the thing that you win because if it dies, the only person that cares is the fans because they don't.
Mhm.
Kurtzman don't give a shit if Star Trek dies. Kennedy don't give a fuck if Star Wars dies. Solomon don't give a fuck if Marvel Comics dies because if they did, they'd listen to the damn customer.
Yeah.
If I ran a business and my customer said I don't like this shit, and I go, well, fuck you, then there's something wrong with you. You either eat the shit or don't. Then I can't be mad if my business closes.
Mm-hmm. But they will be, I guarantee it.
Oh yeah, they will be because hell, it's just like they'll go fuck off. Don't hell. One of the dudes from Doctor Who was like, hell, to hell with the fans. They don't like what we're doing. Fuck off. Now, if tomorrow night, if that damn special comes out and nobody watches the shit, it won't be that hell. He won't go, well, hell, maybe I shouldn't have told the people to fuck off. He'll go, you don't like women.
Yeah.
Built in. You don't like this product? Then there's something wrong with you.
All right. Well, I think we've gotten to the point of we're beating a dead horse at this point. So let's go ahead and just call it here so we can put this poor thing down.
Danny, dead horses don't speak.
Yeah, dead.
It's the
Much
kind
like
of
dead
thing
men
that
tell no tales, dead horses
Right.
don't.
As we wait for 2 to 6 months when they do the same shit all over again, we don't talk about it.
Yeah, we'll complain about that then. So anyway, if you agreed with us, if you disagreed with us, if you have just some comment you want to pass our way, you can leave a comment below. Unless you're listening to this on a podcatcher, in which case, go to the email address, which is thenerdeternal@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Twitter. Just search for the Nerd Eternal. You'll find us.
Please like, share, and subscribe. That's kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Subscribers would be nice.
They would be.
If
Really
you
would.
if you're watching on YouTube.
Yeah, because we're kind of putting this thing up everywhere. So anyway, I've been your host, the experience of some call Jason, and with me today has been
The Todd Father.
CDL 113.
And the token joy of loss, Tarky.
and we will see you next time.
I'm so happy Disney's losing money.